Hello and welcome to Tête-à-tête with Tiwa. I'm Tinuke.
I'm Wally.
Last week we spoke about what we do to keep fit, and we got a number of questions about. Did you know this? Did I tell you this? We got a number of questions from people asking about how do they deal with the situation when their spouse effectively is no longer fit, has put on weight, maybe they don't find them attractive, those type of things. So I thought it would be interesting to deal with that and to find out from you if at any point in time when I put on weight you didn't find me attractive. But no, on a serious note, because I think it is a big deal. It is a big deal for a lot of people that you marry. I mean, life happens, we put on weight, different things cause us to put on weight. For women in particular, if we have children, a lot of the time shifting the baby weight is, I was lucky, but for a lot of women, it's not that easy. So how do you, I'm going to ask you this question.
Sometimes it's not even about the baby weight.
Yeah, sometimes it isn't about baby weight, but I'm just saying that's probably a common one for a lot of women.
Right.
But there's some women that's, and there are different reasons why people put on weight. It might be that they're depressed. It might be that, you're comfort eating, whatever. I don't know. But what I mean is that the fact of the matter is that you're in this marriage and all of a sudden the person that you married is no longer looking physically the way that they did. Now, obviously, one hopes that you didn't marry them just for their physical attributes, but it is a big part of it.
Yeah.
So how do you
and this is both ways, obviously, because
no, both ways, absolutely.
Men is not baby weights.
Yeah, yours is just like what? You have no business.
No, but
No, but it's the same thing. Even men can have underlying issues that cause them to eat.
Beer weight.
Your beer weight. But
No, that's not about it. But yeah, weight does. I mean, like, remember when I came back from the Middle East? Wow. Wow. You need to exclaim like that.
You put on so much weight. But how did I deal with that? Should we go with that?
Okay, let's go with that first. You first.
I was horrified. Oh my God.
Well, it's clearly, I mean, the way you went,
But I didn't at the time.
No,
I didn't.
No.
I was actually very good in terms of how I responded to him, because I didn't want it. It wasn't like a case of, oh my God, look at you. No, that's probably what I was thinking in my head.
Yeah,
but that's
apparently.
but that's not what I said, because it's not like I hadn't been in touch with him. I hadn't seen him, but when you come back live, you were much bigger than he was much bigger than he had been on video calls, and of course I was happy to have him back. So that was the first thing. I think for me, it was more important that I focused on the good things and the things that, because I always say what you notice gets repeated, what you focus on gets magnified. So I mean, I wasn't happy, and I did want him to lose weight, but I wasn't going to go about hounding, you must go to the gym, you must lose weight, oh my God, you're fat. No, because that's not going to work. So I just kind of encouraged, I think. And also in things like the food that I cooked, put a bit more vegetable, just try and, because I had that ability in the sense that I was the one now feeding him, whereas he had been fed before by whoever. I mean, it was even hotel food or whatever.
Yeah, that's what it was.
I don't remember specifically at that time if I did this or not, but one of the things that I had learned from time was that don't tell your husband or your spouse or whoever that they need to lose weight. Encourage them to come to the gym with you. Encourage them to go for a walk with you. Get involved with them. Don't make it a you thing, because in marriage, nothing should be a you thing. It's now an us thing. So if he's in debt, we are in debt. Or if he needs to lose weight, we because that's it. To become one, you've signed up for this thing together. One of the biggest challenges that I think women always face is the male ego, because we have to toe the line so that we don't damage the ego, but at the same time, things have to be said. We can't just, because we don't want to damage the ego, we're not going to say anything. So it's really about, that's the wisdom of God, really, because how do you say what needs to be said without it coming across like you are disrespecting, devaluing, etc., etc. I think that's true in any human relationship, but in particular with men, because the ego is, in the end, God gave it to them. That's what I say. But it's all about controlling it and using it properly for them. And so for us, we have to also make sure that we don't do too much to damage, because I think once you damage the ego, you've kind of
Well,
damage
you know,
them.
it's funny that you should say this. Speaking about that, and I think it goes, and I think it actually flows the same way in the other direction. Because if a man tells his wife you're fat, I can tell you that in 87 years' time, she will remember that statement, and it will still have the same effect it had that
Absolutely,
day when she
absolutely.
says
But
it.
I think it's different with men and women in the sense that is about our physical appearance. With men, the ego in its totality is what I'm talking
Oh, I
about.
see. Yeah,
So for us, when it comes to our physical appearance, absolutely, I think we do probably take it a bit more, you know. But I mean, when I was talking about ego, I was talking about ego in general, not just with regards to weight. But I did put on weight at different times.
Yeah, so yeah, at the times you put on weight, I don't think I ever said to you you're fat.
Well, you wouldn't. Who does that?
No, people do, apparently.
That's rude. You know,
Yeah,
even if it's a fact, you know how you say it. You can't say you're fat.
I think I've heard that people say that.
No, I mean I have. I mean I think, and especially in our culture, people we just say it as we see
You've
it.
added though.
Are you the one eating all the food in the house? So yeah, no, we were a bit tactless.
I remember them thinking, even when I thought, she has put on a bit of weight. I think all I ever did was actually encourage you.
I hope that at this point in time, when I put on weight that you're referring to, is not when I was carrying any one of your children, because that doesn't count. Okay, all right, continue. Because I know I put on weight outside of that, so I'm just checking.
Yeah.
Because if you are counting the ones where your children were involved, then we have a problem.
Can you remember I supported you with the children?
Okay, all right, sorry, my bad.
Yeah. So I think I did pretty much the same thing. Encourage by way of encouraging to do the things that help one to get fit. Now, of course, there's certain periods where I myself was not on that tangent, so to speak. So we are both fat. You know, but yeah, the times, I think it's about support, because I think that's pretty much what we've both done. Support and encourage in ways that help our partner to get fit, to lose weight, to get fit. And even if I believe, even if you feel that the person is, for instance, and I've seen you do this before, and I've noticed exactly what you did, where you say something like, or you would serve a portion of food, and you'd serve a portion that maybe half of what I would normally have, but you would serve it and say something like, this might be the right, or you would say it in a way that basically what you're saying,
don't eat any more than this.
In the most polite manner, is this portion is just fine, and I'd understand it and I'd get it, and I'm like, okay. So she's saying essentially, oh boy, you're eating too much. This is not to say that I wouldn't go for seconds.
Yeah.
But I would get the message, because it's been delivered in the right manner. It's very easy to accept. Okay, yeah, perhaps you need to introspect. Look at what you're eating. You're perhaps eating too much, and really, there's nothing wrong with halving those portions, which really has actually helped in the weight loss thing as well. Yeah, just halving the portions. You won't die.
And I guess the most important thing here is, hopefully you didn't marry your spouse for their physical appearance. Of course, you want them to look good. But more than that, you want them to be healthy. You know what I mean? Because a lot of the time, if they're not looking great, they're probably not healthy inside. So it's not even about, and I think for me, that was one of my core things, especially when he was particularly big, was like, can your heart deal with these weights? Because, I think So it was more a health thing. But there's nothing you can say to them at that point in time, especially if they themselves are feeling fat. There's nothing you can say that will not come out wrong or will not be interpreted wrong, maybe. You know what I mean? So you have to be very careful about what you say. But I think it's more about focusing on how you can help, but in the most natural manner, not in, so like that thing where obviously I'm feeding him, so I just give him a little bit less, maybe add more vegetables, but not in you can't have more because you're fat. You don't do it like that. So in the most subtle way, natural manner, just change things so that they may or may not notice. And if they do notice and they object, you let them have more. It's not like you don't own them. You're not, you know what I mean. But it's just kind of guiding and supporting in the most, like I keep saying, the most natural manner, not making it a big deal.
Or for instance, perhaps you join the gym and encourage your spouse or partner to follow you to the gym.
So look, for example, right, this badminton thing, Wale doesn't know, but it was for him. A lot of it was for him because I was like, he's around for a bit, which is not always the case. Are you opening your mouth?
No.
He's around for a bit, which is not always the case. And I just thought I knew that squash was his thing, but I just thought this is a perfect opportunity for him to get some. And I literally thought maybe he'll do once a week. Remember I said to you, I said maybe he'll do once, even if he does once a week, at least he's doing something more than normal. I didn't expect him. I mean, I knew he would like it, but I didn't expect him to take, because he's such a squash, or he was such a squash. I didn't expect him to take to it so much that he was literally the one saying, have you booked for tomorrow? Have you booked? He now became a pain. I'm like, hello, it's me that's doing badminton. What's your, But when I did decide to go back to badminton, at the time when I did, it was also because I thought, that way I can drag Wale under the pretenses, if you like. It wasn't pretenses because I needed a partner, but then he can also get a bit of exercise even if it's just once a week. That was my thinking, because he had stopped you were doing your walks and he had stopped doing his walks. He used to walk for hours every day and then he just stopped, and I just kind of thought, okay.
You're cold.
Okay, no, I don't know why, but I just thought this.
Yeah.
But I just thought, this is another way to get him involved in something. Like I said, I did not expect him to run with it in the manner which he has. I'm glad he has, but yeah, he really took it on and everything. But that was my way of. So this is what you're saying about joining a gym and gets, that was my way, is to get them involved. Now, that's not to say that you try that and the person will be enthusiastic. Like I said, I didn't expect him to take to it in this manner. I was just thinking I will beg him to come once a week for my sake, because I need a partner and he will do it for me. But it's not really, you know what I mean? But
yeah, to be frank, I mean, I must say, it's not like I was enthusiastic when I went. I was like, yeah, all right,
He was just doing it for me.
So now I have my time.
Good husband. And
then I thought, okay, this is not bad. This is not bad at all. And yeah, and that's how we got into that.
Yeah. So yeah, I think, final words, I would just say, focus on the fact that it's really not about their physical being, or it shouldn't be. It should be more about their health.
Their health, fitness.
And just try and do it in the most natural way. And there's nothing wrong with having a conversation about it. But if you're having a conversation about it, be kind. Always be kind.
Yeah.
And come from like as if you were in their position. What would you like to hear? If you know that you're struggling with your weight, you're overweight, that maybe.
Well, it's not even just what would you like to hear. Some people like to hear some very tough truths. Some people, won't move until you say to them,
sure,
dude, you're going to die soon if you're not, So it's how will your partner best receive the message you're trying to put across? And that's what you should consider. So be considerate, be kind.
Yeah. You should always be considerate and kind, I think. But this comes back to that thing. There's one episode we did about knowing your partner, so that you know when something changes. You know them, so you know what they will receive, what will go well with them, what won't go well with them, and you be kind and considerate.
Absolutely.
That's it. See you next time.
Indeed. Ciao.